how did you first become engaged with internet architecture and networking, and what problems were you most focused on solving at that time?
I started my career in computing at the Australian National University in the 1980s. Not many folk are still around since then, but the 1980s was interesting insofar as it was still the age of mainframe computers, but it was also the age of proprietary technology. So, for example, if you had an IBM mainframe on your campus, it's pretty typical that the network you were running was also IBM's SNA network. If you had machines from Digital Equipment, then you were probably running DECnet. Now, the issue is that what if you had a variety of mainframes and wanted users, the members of the campus community with their terminals on their desk to connect to any of these mainframes? Proprietary networks got in the way because only IBM terminals supposedly connected to IBM mainframes and similar. So the industry as a whole and campuses like mine were keenly interested in technologies that were, well, vendor independent. We called them open technologies that weren't owned by anyone. Now, there was a long-standing effort in the 1980s, largely sponsored by telephone companies, oddly enough, and European ones at that, called Open Systems Interconnect, which was an effort to actually develop a networking technology that was independent of any particular company. Now, at the same time that this effort was going on, there was an effort within America that had started from a similar premise, funded largely by the Advanced Research Project Agency of the US government, looking at a very similar kind of problem. But unlike the OSI protocol suite, they'd actually developed working solutions by the mid to late 80s, and it was called the Internet, or the ARPANET as we knew it then. So when I was looking at a project to build the campus Ethernet network in the late 1980s, then the choice of networking protocol technology was actually pretty constrained. You either ran IP, the Internet Protocol, or you couldn't interconnect everything. You had to make choices. So I got very, very interested in IP as solving a problem for my campus. Now, about a year later, the entire collection of Australian universities started to look at building a national academic and research network. And again, similar kind of problem. What protocols are we going to support on such a network? Because, without protocols, you don't have communication. Um, I led a charge to actually nominate that the way we should do this is do a core based on the internet protocols as being one which was almost universally supported on most of the computers that we ran inside the academic and research sector. And that kind of got rid of the problem of, do we do DECnet? Do we do PrimeNet? Do we do SNA? Do we do this? Do we do that? It solved it because almost every machine that we could sort of see, there was a port of the Internet protocol available on it. So the whole thing could actually run with IP. So that's how I got into it. After that, it was just a wild ride.